Hello, hello, hello!
Hello! It is us. We're back.
We're back!
Holly, Anita. July 10, video number 24.
24!
So, it's awesome.
Happy
It's all
summer.
good.
Happy summer. You can see we have a nautical theme going. I went and changed my shirt after Anita got here. I was like, duh! Because I'm leaving for my cruise on Saturday.
I know. How exciting.
I'm so excited!
I have never been on a cruise.
I know, this is my first time.
That would be exciting.
Eastern Caribbean. We are going, our ports are St. Kitts and Nevis.
Ooh.
I had never heard of it. I seriously had to look it up. I did. It's in the U.S. British Virgin Islands.
Sign me up.
Right? I know! And my sister, when she saw the pictures of it, because she looked it up too, because we'd never heard of it, it reminded her of the Hawaiian Islands. Because they're volcanic islands. So St. Kitts has a black sand beach. St. Nevis has a silver sand beach. So we're going to Nevis to hang on the beach. Can't wait.
And while you're there, I'll be in Illinois at a family wedding. Yay! Cruise family wedding.
It's gonna be awesome. We're always with each other in spirit.
It's all good.
We are. So St. Kitts and Nevis, Puerto Rico, San Juan.
Oh, that'd be exciting.
I know, because we don't get that a lot of time there. We get a full day at St. Kitts and Nevis, partial day at Puerto Rico, and then the Bahamas before we port back into Fort Lauderdale. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no!
And you get Fort Lauderdale. Amazing.
Right? I know.
There's some awesome stitchers in Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding areas.
So, okay. I'm supposed to get into Fort Lauderdale on Saturday at 1:48 p.m. The cupboard is 8.6 miles from my hotel. So I'm struggling because we have to get up at like 2:30 in the morning in order to get our flight leaves from Cedar Rapids at 6 a.m. So I know I'm going to be super tired because I'm just not a great traveler. But so my mom's like, yeah, we're going to go to the hotel and rest, take a nap, because my sister doesn't get in until 7 p.m. So I was like, yeah. But then I'm like, oh, but the cupboard and the sunshine stitchers.
So close, yet so far. Well, it's different when you're traveling with people.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing. I went on my holiday for a few weeks, not expecting to go to any stitching shops because I was traveling with my husband and with another couple. So, yeah. You take what you can get.
Right?
When you can.
I'm like, do I dare take a lift to the cupboard? I don't know. I've been playing with it. My mom's like, yeah, I'll just take a nap. And, maybe the Sunshine Stitchers would like to meet you at the hotel and you could have a drink at the bar or something. And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to ask them to do that. I'm not very brave by myself. So I'm like, I could do a Lyft or an Uber, but I've never done it before. And I'm kind of chicken by myself. You hear those horror stories. Haven't you heard that scary horror story where some person who was supposed to be a Lyft driver or an Uber driver murdered off some girl?
Right.
I don't know.
Well,
I'm just a
Lyft
simple
down
Iowa
in
girl.
Florida. We use Uber when we go to Texas. So, you just have to be cautious. So. Yeah. All right. So where do we begin?
I know.
Okay, so that's our future plans.
Yeah. In the very near future.
And we will stitch what we can.
Oh, yeah. I plan to stitch on my ship. I'm telling you.
All right. So we just got back July 4th, my husband and I. We went and spent 2 weeks down in Florida and North Carolina. Had a fantastic time. I love the people. I love the food. Just everything. It was just perfect. So we'd get to community. I'm like, let's move here. Get to the next community. This is good too, And so we spent time down Cape Coral and Captiva Island, and then we took a flight to Charlotte and spent time with some really dear friends who have a cabin up in the high country, and was able then to go to Asheville, and what an amazing city. That was fun. I'm seriously a Portland, Oregon fan, big time. But Asheville has that feel.
Oh.
It was really cool. It was really, really nice. So, and then we had planned tentatively to continue our trip up to Boston, and it was just time to come home. So that's what we did, July 4th. So it was good. All right, what? Just share.
Yeah, I would like you to share.
Okay.
Because, you know,
Okay,
Anita
we'll
had
just-
some adventures on her travel.
Well, and there's
That's
some
really
haul
exciting.
that happened because
Because her husband is amazing. I mean, seriously.
he's so seriously sweet.
He is.
Mhm.
He drove her to these places. And we're not talking about Charlotte and Captiva Island. We're talking about Weaverville, North Carolina.
Yep.
We're talking about
Rock Hill,
Rock Hill, South Carolina.
It was
He
amazing.
drove her there.
Yeah,
I
well.
love him.
So I had taken 2 projects with me to work on because they kind of made me think of both areas. So I started, you had me at Flamingo by Hands On Design. So there's the pattern.
What the flock?
What the fuck? Exactamundo. And then, okay. And that's what I got done.
Oh, it's so pretty.
So
Those colors, I'm in love.
really sweet. So what I have figured out when you're doing holidays, you need to really consider things like sun, sand, sunscreen, sweat. So next time I'm going to take a project that's like just on a plain old piece of Zweigart linen with DMC. Because everything was like, I gotta wash my hands. No, I can't take that with me. And just, it just didn't, you know. And then, you know, I was on holiday, so that's what I got done. And so it was good. And so then we, and Florida was just lovely. It was lovely. One night we actually we were on the coast, and they had said, oh, a little shower is coming through. And we're, oh, okay. And so we could see the dark clouds forming, and we're like, I don't know, we better get back to our room, you know. And we made it just in time. Like, it started raining, and it kept raining and raining and raining. And the thunder, the lightning, it was beautiful, but then our power went out. And we had nothing. We had like a bag of peanuts and like a little wine maybe. And we were like, okay, well, power should come back on. No, it didn't. So we called down to the office, and we're like, hey, you know, is there any food anywhere? Because like all the restaurants had closed immediately. And they're like, well, there's a place called, what is it? Scoop and Slice. They sell pizza and ice cream. Let me just check. Yeah, they have a couple slices left. I'm like, tell them to hold them, you know. So we went down, and I gotta tell you, it was the best pizza I think I've ever had. And I think part of it was just like, you know, you're eating this in the dark by phone flashlight.
Did you eat it at Scoop and Slice? Or
No, they were closing down too. Like,
Yeah.
It was just like this mad rush to, okay, shut it down. And
So did they deliver?
No, we drove there. We drove there. We were like the only ones out on the road.
Ice cream? Did you get some ice cream too?
No. We were on a mission. Because you don't know if everything's going to shut down. And we're like, okay, this could go on overnight. It could go. And then you start worrying, like, we don't have air.
Oh.
You know, so then if that power doesn't come on, it's going to heat up.
Yeah.
So you would have just found us at the pool. We would have just been like, okay, it's 4:00 in the morning. Where else should we be? The pool. But we
So
were
when
lucky.
did it come on?
It was a few hours, but no, it was that evening, late evening. But it's a story. So no, Florida was amazing. I love seafood, like, and just the View restaurant. Oh, it was just amazing. So then we flew into Charlotte, and I chose
North Carolina.
Yep, it was amazing. Oh my gosh, another just amazing place. So I worked on Spring Snow by Ink Circles. Just it made me think of my friend's cabin, and okay. That's it.
Isn't that cute? Look at that sweet little tree.
It is, but that's it. So what I did find out though is that the snow color here is the color straw bonnet. Straw bonnet, and I'm gonna trade it out for a much whiter one to go better on my fabric. So that happened. So when we were in Charlotte, I kind of checked it out and I said, hey, you know, we're only like 25 minutes from the Stitch and Frame shop. So I said, hey, what are we doing? What's the plans for the day? So yeah, so we were able to go and it was just so sweet. Peggy was amazing. Absolutely just so incredibly kind and helpful. I believe the store has been open for 41 years. 41 years.
That's awesome.
Isn't that incredible? And what I loved is that she had all these displays, and if it was a new chart, she would use a clothespin with ribbons hanging off of it, and it would say that word new. So she would have that clipped onto the not onto the charts themselves, but onto the holders that had the charts in them. So your eye easily went to what was new in the store.
That's brilliant. What a great idea.
So I was able to pick up Safe Harbor by Hands On Design, follow the stars and find your safe harbor.
I love that.
Isn't that sweet?
Way.
I picked up Plum Street Samplers, the Black Cherry Tart, because I have like 6 tart pans. I have plans for one of them. Now I have plans for 2 of them.
I have plans for one of them.
I picked up by the, yeah, oh yeah. Okay, 3 left. And then, okay, I don't really do, I don't think let me think, antique reproductions, not 100% my thing, but I think it's becoming it. And so I picked up Anne Grader 1812 by the Scarlet House. And I've had my eye on this for a long, I don't know how, for quite a while. Quite a while. Isn't that beautiful?
It is. It's so pretty.
And the colors, just all gentle arts. So
those strawberries melt me.
pick that up. I picked up a handful of Lakeside linen.
Gorgeous.
In 32 and 36 count. And then, I don't know, this was a personal surprise.
Yeah.
So I picked up a pattern by Black Branch Needlework and original designs and antique sampler reproductions by LaDonna.
LaDonna Snellbaker.
Can you believe it?
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah, she has an Etsy site now, Sampling of Memories, and she does these beautiful fobs, and I don't know how to, like, bling for your ring. You know, just I don't know how to explain.
Well,
this.
she does scissor fobs. She does scissor fobs. She does bling for your thread keeps. She does
necklaces. You can have
necklaces
right.
and scissor
Needle
pulls,
yeah.
or not scissors, zipper pulls.
And we met her and was able to stitch with her for, you know, just amazing. She's super.
Yes, she's so
I was
lovely and so talented.
I was stunned. I came back and I'm like, Holly, did you know? No, because we think of her as the
Sampling of Memories.
Yeah, Sampling of Memories, but
all these cool
this is
doodads.
LaDonna. I know,
Right?
Exciting.
How cool is that?
So yeah, so Peggy.
I
don't know if that's, I don't know, it's focusing or not. Just great.
Yay!
And then when we were in, yeah. So then when we were in North Carolina, we were in Asheville, and Weaversville is just up the road from Asheville.
How far are we talking up the road?
15, 20 minutes.
Seriously?
Yeah, not that far. I don't think it was that far.
Oh my word.
And it's just this quaint little town, just so much sweetness there. And so I was able to go to Sassy Jacks. And if you enjoy antique reproductions, this should be on your bucket list. I've got to say, Sassy Jacks and the Attic in Mesa, Arizona are the two places. I couldn't believe the number of antique samplers that she had displayed, and just really kind and helpful. I can't even tell you, it was just so much fun. And so my husband had dropped me off. I don't know where he ended up, but we kept in contact. I text. I'm like, okay, I think I'm wrapping it up. He's like, okay, take your time. So I'm like, okay. I heard it, you know, because I started getting panicky. Like, okay, you know, am I going to order in lunch here? What's my next plan? You know, when do you close? When does the store close? I'm like, okay. So I was able to pick up, I know, bad. So I was able to pick up these 3 Blackbird design charts. Blackbird, the Octopus's Garden, and Yellow Submarine. So
from the Magical Mystery Tour.
So, and I already had Strawberry Fields. So I was happy to get those. And then I picked up the 1726 Garden Pin Keep Kit by Samplers Not Forgotten. And it has everything in it that I need. Oh, I picked up another Blackbird.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, there?
Oh,
okay.
Yep.
Sorry, I
And
thought it was
then,
any other place.
I know. Well, yeah, there is a third place. We'll get to that. The American Star by Blackbird Designs. And I gotta tell you, I love the back.
Right? I know.
Isn't that beautiful?
So pretty.
Oy,
wonder if that was one of their fabrics.
Amazing. Then she had this very small, it's Mary Ann Frame 1739 Sassafras Samplers. So this motif came from a sampler that is on display at Sassy Jacks. So I just picked this part of it up.
I feel like the sassafras is so fitting for the Sassy Jacks.
Right.
You know? Sassafras and Sassy Jacks.
Right.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. So then, of course, the reason I went, we're getting there,
I love this.
Needles Dance, a collaboration between Summer House Stitchworks, Ink Circles, and Hands-On Designs. So there it is.
That is so beautiful.
So, and it came with a beautiful needle minder, and this is the fabric. And so the fabric is it's darker than what is shown on the chart. And when I went in, I said to Cam, I says, you know, by chance do you have the Needles Dance available? And she goes, just the chart or the kit? And I said, whatever you have. So she is so helpful. And then finally,
she scrambled and put it all together for you, didn't she?
She did. Just the service, seriously. So then I'm looking at these bins of fabric, just bins and shelves of bins of fabric, and I'm always on the lookout for this one particular type of fabric, and it's German banding that I've needed for a project by Nikki's Creations. And at one point, I had kept looking at her Etsy shop. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna have to pay for it. I'm gonna have to pay for it and pay the, international shipping. And I went to the site and it was gone. Didn't have any left. And this has been a while. So I'm like, okay, what am I gonna do? So I've been trying to find other options to do instead and everything. So I'm there with Kim and I said, by chance, I've been looking for a year. This is since the Needlework Galleria. I said, by chance, there's a product called German banding that Nikki's Creations. Oh, let me go see what I have of hers. And she pulls out a bin and opens it, and right seriously on top, there it was.
It's pretty.
I couldn't move fast enough. Whoop, that's mine. I didn't even see the price. I'm like, I have been looking for this for a year. And so that was such a find for me.
I love it.
Yeah. So that gets to get in the pile.
Envy.
All right, and then, yeah, I think that's about it. Oh, and then when I got back, there was a package waiting for me. I know, Anita. We'll talk about the buying freeze at the end of this video. But I had a package waiting for me, international, from, do I have a card? Nope. Karina of Bags Plus. Now, if you watch Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, or Amy of Amy Loves Toads, they use her products. And I ordered them, and I thought, you know, just, I'll get them when I get them. It's all good. We're fine. And because she had extensive surgery on June 24th. And surprisingly, she is back working part-time, filling customer orders. So if you do decide to order from Bags Plus, I'll show you what I got. You just, you know, you might need to be a little bit patient. So I had ordered the flip. And so her standard size, there's 40 pockets for 40 bobbins. Or you can also take fancy floss and just hang it from here and hang it out. And then on the back of the flip is a little space for you to put the pattern. And I had asked her, I think her standard is 45 spaces, and I was communicating with her, and I said, well, my project bags are this size. And she said, well, oh, I can make it to fit 40 bobbins. You would do that. Everything she has going on. I said, I couldn't believe it. So I picked 3 fabrics, and so these are the 3 that I got. So that's what it looks like, and it's amazing because the vinyl, she even hems each of the vinyl. Like the attention to detail is amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at your edge on this other side where you stick the pattern in. It's so well made.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So my first pattern is sea turtles. Look how cute.
So cute.
The second one.
Oh my goodness, they're so pretty.
Let's just call it birds and bobbins.
So pretty.
So that's the back. And these slide right into my project bags, just the way they are. I don't fold them or anything. It's just a flip. So you flip it. And then my third one, and this is probably my favorite one. Oh, there's her card. I can hold it up.
I love this.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
It's still opening. So Karina, there's the name of the company.
Karina Coley.
Yep. So, and then the final one is, isn't that great?
You had me at flamingo. I love it.
So yeah, like I said, mine has 40 slots. So yeah, so that was so exciting, and I was totally amazed that it had already arrived. Because like I said, it could have been months. I would have been fine. I would have been happy. It was fine. So that was.
And she was so personable. I know you had conversations back and forth with her quite a bit, and just so willing to make it work for your needs, which is really amazing.
So that was my holiday. We got back on July 4th and watched the Macy's fireworks show on TV. One of my kids was there in person enjoying the sights. But yeah, it's been a great summer so far. And you too. You were on holiday.
Yeah, for a week while Anita was away, I was with my family at a house on a lake in Wisconsin. We go every year with my in-laws. They are 82 and as precious as can be, and in very good health. But they would never make that trip by themselves. So we've been going there for the last 11 years. We figured out because we first went on their 50th anniversary, and this year was their 60th anniversary. So this is our 11th time up there. Yeah. So just my husband and son and I, and my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and my father-in-law, my husband and I love to go fishing. It's one of our favorites. And we've had years where the fishing has been amazing up there. We've had so much fun, and this year the fishing was probably the worst it's ever been. We were heartbroken. So instead, I stitched and it was great. I had a great time stitching, and it's just relaxing to get out of your house where you have no distractions or anything pulling you in any direction. And we're in the sticks up there, like unplugged, which drives you a little crazy because you can't contact anybody. I can't even by phone. I can't call without getting, either the call won't go through or it gets cut out. We're in the sticks. So it's kind of awesome and kind of not at the same time, especially for my teenage son who doesn't like to be that disconnected. So, but I enjoyed stitching. So I started and finished. Okay, this was one of the patterns that we received at Stitch Camp at Spring Green from Barb of Blackbird Designs. So it's called My Home, and that is on this adorable little matchbox that we painted. It just slides right out. So we painted this and sanded, waxed the whole kit and caboodle. My first time ever doing that, so if it doesn't look that fabulous, just know fantastic. I'm a newbie. And so on this little box goes this precious little stitch over one 36
hold
count.
Up a pen so you can have an idea. See, that's a pen.
Seriously, is it not the most precious little thing? Okay, I'm gonna hide my face so it'll focus in. Is that not the most precious little thing you've ever seen?
I started just at the retreat.
Love it.
I just have like 20 across the top, and I said, no, I talk too much to.
Yeah, you gotta focus.
You can't talk and do 1 over 1, like, or I can't.
And that's okay. You're a social stitcher. You like to visit with people when you're with them. And I was just in a situation where, you know, my kid is watching TV or whatever, and my mother-in-law was reading a book, and if the guys were trying, you could just tell it was the fishing. Like, you hated to give up hope, but at the same time, you just knew you weren't going to catch anything. So in the mornings, I just wouldn't go out because every day they come back empty-handed. So I would stitch instead. So it was just quiet and I could just focus and do my thing. So yeah, so much fun. So I started and finished that while I was there. And then I picked up the next piece that we received, which was Garden Morning.
This is super sweet.
It's a drum. It's
you know, it's not going to come across how pretty.
I know.
The colors and stuff.
Oh my goodness. So I'm super close to finishing this. It's a fun little stitch. This one's over 2 though. So not quite as tiny, but so beautiful. And of course it coordinates, same colors as the matchbox piece. So Garden Morning. So I'm excited.
It was good.
We had worked on, and I had done some more work when we got home. This is from Chessie and me. It's the Quaker Housewife. And this was what we received, one of the patterns we received from Linda.
I love the swan on this one.
Yes.
That's my, I can't wait to get to the swan.
Yes.
I should have started in that bottom corner so I'd have the swan done.
The colors are just so beautiful together. So pretty. So, of course, we started this at camp. And this is... I started
nobody could put it down.
We couldn't put it down.
No.
And of course, I started on that TDS border, and then I was like, okay, I got to get something that shows on here. So I have an error, and that I got home and I'm stitching, and all of a sudden I realized,
but she's not going to point it out. It doesn't matter.
I miscounted, and there's an error, and I was like, I seriously don't want a frog. I don't like wasting my time frogging, I just want to move forward. So I've been staring at it going, is it really that big of a deal? And I think it's not.
No.
So I'm just going to let it go. Embrace it. I've gotten to the point, because I'm very much a perfectionist in the things that I do. I want them to be perfect. And it's always a good lesson for me that I can't be perfect, because I'm always striving to be. And I know I can't be, but I still strive to. It's a terrible thing that I struggle with. So I'm really, in my stitching, trying to embrace those imperfections, and as a reminder to me that I can't be perfect and it's okay. So I'm letting it go. Gonna move forward on my housewife. And then I've also been working on
that brings this one into focus. Sorry.
I've been working on, okay, so when we were in Spring Green, we were all talking about P-Roy. And he just became our
How
little
adorable is this?
trip mascot.
Now Amy loves toads. She has done this.
She has.
And
Oh my goodness, so stinking cute.
we all just fell for this.
We did. He just kind of became our mascot for the trip.
We did.
So in our stitchy circle. So we have friends in our stitchy circle. We're all gonna stitch
We're all
him.
stitching it.
Yeah. So we decided we're gonna make his bow ties.
Everybody's
pick a different color for his bow tie. So mine looks pretty similar to what's called for. I didn't intend that. It just worked out that way. But anyway, I'm gonna take him on my cruise. So I wanted to. There's a lot of fill in on him. So I wanted to outline him so I could just fill him in. So I'm waiting for some straw bonnet to finish kind of the ecru part in front of him. But I went ahead and stitched his bow tie. So mine is in Peacock by Carrie's Creation. And yeah, I just think he's so cute. So that'll be fun and easy to whip up and work on the cruise. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna do some kind of a coral or pink.
Yeah, well, yeah, I love that.
You know,
that'll be perfect. I probably should lean more turquoise, because those are my colors. But I thought, oh, peacock, because it still falls in line with what I love. But it looks almost like, I think freedom is the called for color. So it kind of looks.
Though. This is so cute. Okay, so this I needed to get some chamomile. So off to Fiberworks I go.
Yeah.
So there's Carol's card, and she's super close. This is a really close jaunt. And my husband and I were there. We had to go to we had some errands to run. I said, oh, honey, I just have some floss I need to pick up. So it was so sweet though, because he came in this time and met Carol, and it was just so nice. Like when we left, he's like, okay, he can see the relationship and just how much fun I was having. And so, but I went to get chamomile, and so she's like, what's going on with chamomile? Tommy came in a couple days ago asking for chamomile. I don't have any chamomile. And I'm like, what? That's all I came for was chamomile. So I don't know. Maybe P-Roy will be coral and
all this fill in.
Yeah, that whole thing
is chamomile. So yeah. There's a run on chamomile and straw bonnet.
Like walls and walls of thread. Walls. And then one lone area, no chamomile. So
must be on order. She has to be ordering.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And what's nice, she does 5 and 10 yard skeins.
Yes. So we love it when we find the 10 yards.
Yeah, because it's not double the price. It's like, I don't know, 1 skein for 2. Okay. Don't listen to me.
Something.
Don't listen.
$2.50.
But while I was there, I picked up my 5th in the series of the Magical Mystery Tour.
Yay! I love this one.
And I also found Mother's Honor Due.
Love that too. I've not seen that one before.
So here's the issue, and you guys can all relate. I have 5 out of 6 of these. The elusive Eleanor Rigby. Don't have it. Don't have access. I've looked around, called around. Nope, not have it. So if there's anyone willing to trust me with their pattern, I would love to be able to borrow it.
Yeah.
So, and I will start it and lickety somewhat split, have it done, and get the pattern back to you, pay insurance on it. But yeah, all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, a 5 out of 6, you know.
Right.
And this all started with Strawberry Dreams.
Fields,
yeah. Okay, where are we at now? 35 minutes. Okay. So anyway, so if anybody can help me out, that would be super appreciated, because that seems to be what I'm doing. Oh my goodness.
Love it.
What else?
Ooh, I have a couple things.
Oh.
Another start that I made on July 4th. I felt like I should do something patriotic. So, first of all.
Oh, these are cute.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite.
I know. So, Crazy Annie had a Memorial Day sale, and I have had my eye on these for a long time. These Little House Needleworks, little kind of a kit. It's the pattern and the floss. So here's Land of the Free, Home of the Brave, Long May She Wave. So I decided to start Land of the Free on 28 count that I had in my stash that was gifted to me from our friends Kathy and Deb. So this is a 28 count, I think it's called Antique Lace, I think, something like that. So there's my little start that I started on 4th of July. But I have to, oh my goodness, Annie, if you're watching, thank you so much. I almost cried when I opened the package because I was so excited to get them. So those 3 patterns arrived, and then I'm like, wait a minute, there's a Stacy Nash in here. I could see, you know, the top of the packaging. And there was this card that said, you have been wrapped. And I wanted to cry because she sent me Quincy. I am so excited. I wanted him so bad. And he arrived as a super sweet kindness from Annie. Thank you so much. So not just this though, Quincy.
But Quincy is going to join a whole bunch of P-Roys.
Right?
Wouldn't that be adorable? You got to do it.
I know. I can't wait to do it. And what's hilarious is guess what he needs?
Oh no.
Chamomile.
No.
Yes. I was going to say, is it straw? No, I said picking. It has similar colors. It has chamomile and dive. Picnic basket, those are all in the other P-Roy too. Yeah. But oh my goodness, is he not precious?
Absolutely.
You know my
adorable.
Obsession with owls. I'm so excited. And then she sent, oh my gosh, I could have bawled the whole thing.
Well, you had called and I could hear it over the phone. It was like you were completely touched and overwhelmed.
So touched. Summer Liberty. These are precious little Chessie and Me kits that have the fabric and silk floss and I think there's a needle in here too. I was like, what? I love these so much. So she sent me this as well.
And after meeting Linda of Chessie and Me, we should just head up the Linda fan club.
Right?
Like, I want to dress like her. I'm serious. I got my nautical gear on.
Goodness. And we were just talking about how she had this awesome like teaching board that was covered in holes, so she could use like yarn and teach different stitch techniques. And so we were just talking about Linda walking around with her holy board.
Right, and just helping.
And how helpful it was.
Try hitting one and did it. Unbelievable.
Yeah,
so the fact that it was a Chessie and Me.
I know. And then the P-Roy. I know Annie had to have been.
That in my pile.
No, she's taking my patterns.
Oh my God.
seriously, I knew that she must have watched our video, that she would send me those precious patterns. And then a snag nabbit. I love these so much. I'm so grateful, Annie. Thank you so much. I mean, thank you isn't enough. Like, seriously, I know. Thank you isn't enough. You just, how do you repay such kindness? I'm so grateful. I'm just speechless. So
we say that we are so overwhelmed and grateful to be a part of the Stitchy community.
Yeah.
Hands down, the best community out there.
Right.
Best community.
I think about when Anita approached me. It's been about 2 years. Yeah. Well, it'll be 2 years in October that we started Flosstube videos, but it was prior to that. She approached me and said, "Hey, I think we should do this. I think we should make these videos."
Yeah,
and I was like,
I'm like, "Hey, by the way, do you cross stitch?"
Because we both scrapbooked.
You know, we're like, yeah.
And then she was like, "Yeah, I cross," and I'm like, "What?" Because me too.
Right.
I had cross stitched too, and had put it aside for many years. So we were like, okay, another thing we have in common. We are destined to be besties. And yeah, she approached me about this video thing, and I was like, "You want to do what?"
Yeah.
Because we had to videotape lessons and stuff at school, and Anita hated videotaping. She would seriously go Botox.
That's the term I use.
Freak her out. So I was like, "You want to do this?" And she's like, "Yeah, I think we could do it." So, you know, stab in the dark. We just jump in with both feet and start making some videos, and we have made the best friends. We have best friends for life through cross stitch because of making videos about cross stitch. And I just can't tell you the gift that has been for both of us to sharing it together. That's a gift in itself.
Right.
Like that we just sharing it together. But then to have these best friends for life, and we just continue to meet our circle just gets bigger and bigger as we make new friends and learn.
Right.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
the learning. It's not so much the haul. But you know, that is a problem.
Clearly, as we're both on a freeze.
You know, somebody will hold up a pattern of Flosstube. Oh yeah. Right. Write that one down. Pause,
go to 1, 2, 3. Put it on my wish list.
I'll screenshot. Send it to Holly. Yes. Holly, do you have this one? Okay, on the list. Here we go.
Yes.
But it's not just that. It's also like finishing ideas or jumping into the gourmet stitching with the different eyelets, the Algerian eyelets and things. Just doing that gourmet stitching, which still is overwhelming to me, but you know, it's doable because of what everyone has shared. Stitching in hand.
Oh my goodness. Stitching on linen. I had never done that I didn't even know what fancy floss was. I didn't even know that existed. I was a DMC, Ada, or paper.
Just whatever we had in our
paper.
stash from 15 years ago.
Right?
You know?
Like, that's it.
And then just seeing the wealth of knowledge out there.
Oh man.
So like if you want to figure out how to do something, like you want to do the pin stitch, it's out there.
Yeah.
You want to stitch in hand, it's out there. Just
you want to finish something?
it's just such a supportive community, and people are willing to share and be open and answer questions, and you can't ask for more.
No.
So
it's a gift to us, and we're grateful. On that note, I have to say, I think I've just been heartbroken by, I think our society in general right now is in a place where if you don't agree with me, then you hate me. You have to agree with me, or there's no, I don't know how to express it in the way that I want to, but it discourages me because our country was founded on such greatness and on people who were different.
Hopes, dreams.
Different hopes and dreams that were good. I have always taught my students that being different is beautiful. And that if we were all the same, how boring our world would be. We'd just be a bunch of robots. And that the joy of life is that people are different and they have different gifts and abilities and talents and I embrace that. Do I expect people to always agree with me? No way, because they think about things differently. Do I think that they hate me because they don't agree with me? No, they just have a different idea that I can listen to and agree with, or maybe not, but it doesn't mean I don't love them. And I feel discouraged by this whole mindset that if you don't agree with me, you're evil. That's not what I have raised my kid and my students to believe. And I'm troubled that that's kind of the mindset that's taking over our world. So I would just encourage you that if someone disagrees with you or has a different thought, it could be about anything. It doesn't have to be about stitching, or politics, or religion, or whatever it is, to just listen with an open heart and mind. You don't have to agree with them. Doesn't mean you can't be kind. And
right.
I'm seeing a lack of kindness that really troubles me. So that's not what I believe. I believe that we should embrace each other's differences, learn from one another in love. And love doesn't have to be agreeing, but it doesn't have to be mean and ugly. Right. And it doesn't have to be like, you agree with me or we're not friends anymore, like third graders on the playground. Because, seriously, that's what we deal with as teachers. They come in, they're like, yeah, she's not my friend anymore. And I'm like, oh, back up the train.
Yeah, but then by lunchtime, they're besties again.
Right.
The next
but I'm like, no, we don't say that. Right. We don't, no, you don't just drop them. They were your friend. So there's a lot of teaching that goes on with that. And I feel like there are a lot of adults in our world that need to hear that message. So there you go. Throwing that out there.
Well,
we have more stuff to share.
I'm trying to see here. Okay, so Stitchy community.
Yes.
So the last video, that'd be number 23, I had mentioned this super duper cutie patootie Sergey by Plum Street Sampler, and I had shared that. Oh, look at him. Just, love him.
Cute.
Yes. So then Daylene of So Grateful contacted and said, because we had joked and said, what was the other two, Boris and
Olga.
Oh, Sergey has two companions currently available, Olga and Boris. And so we were thinking, oh, it must be like a robin, and
we're thinking birds.
We're thinking birds. So then Daylene contacts us and says, hey, I have Boris. I'll send him to you. And I said, oh, great. She's going to send Boris. So, oh my goodness. This was what, Sunday?
Yeah, it was Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. I'm not sleeping. So 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up making coffee. Gonna get some stitching time in, which, by the way, I'm finding out I like stitching in the morning. And I look over on the kitchen counter and there's a package. Look at the size of this, guys. It's maybe 6 o'clock in the morning. Let's say 6. And it has my name on it. And then I get a little irate because I'm like, who brought in the mail? Who sent it here and who didn't tell me I had a package? And it was from Daylene. So great. And I opened it. It was everything I could not to start ringing Holly and just wake up the whole family at 6 o'clock in the morning.
She should have done it. She waited till like 8:54 and she texted me.
I'd already opened it. So then I felt bad because I knew, but she didn't know. And we should, but it had my name on it. So I'm like, okay, this is Boris. And it was Boris. Now,
I gotta tell him what you texted because it's so funny. So I look at my phone, it's 8:54 and I've been awake and it says, I need to come over. Are you dressed? Get up! And I'm like, what? Of course not. Because I'm awake, but I'm not dressed. And so then she texts back and she's like, don't worry. Be there in 10. I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw something on.
Now she's worried that something's wrong.
Yeah, I'm like,
I've got news to share.
She's dropping, like, I got to drop everything. She's coming right now.
Right.
What's going on? So I was kind of concerned. I'm like, I think this is funny. So I'm like, it seems happy. And so like your head starts going like,
what is it?
What is it?
And then she said something like, anything you need, and coffee. Coffee would be
right.
good.
I'm like, yeah.
She's like, I'm on it. So I'm like, I'm in the car.
No shoes. That's Shelby in car. No shoes. I'm like, she didn't even put her shoes on to come. OMG, what's going on? So then she's like, yes, coffee. I'm like, I'm on it.
I drive a Mini Cooper, and I'm just like peeling out city streets here. No, okay. But I was so anyway. So I shared. I said, you wouldn't believe it. We got a package.
This is what it was.
And she's probably like taking a sigh of relief.
Oh my goodness. But it was so hilarious. So I'm like, I just want you to know, Daleen, that you are so special to us that Anita came flying over here on Sunday morning without shoes. And I threw clothes on. I looked terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Because, when you have a bestie, you don't care.
Well,
so you're like, she'll accept me.
I've texted her before, and I'm like, oh, you're up. I'll say, oh, you're up. I didn't think you'd be up. Oh, yeah, well, my phone dinged. Well, that's because I was messaging her and I woke her up. That has happened.
Yes, because then I stay up too late, and then I'm too tired to get up in the morning. It's terrible. I would prefer to be an early bird.
So
never been.
She had included a card for each of us, and talk about the cutest idea ever. Mm-hmm. She took this is the card, and that's a finish of hers, and on the back it says the name of the Bitter Flower Sampler 2010, and she has that, and the card was just amazing.
And then mine, this is a pattern by Lindy Stitches, stitched in 2017. So we were like, Daleen, this is genius to take pictures of your stitched work
it's a photo,
and attach them to a card.
Right. It's so personalized.
Right.
So
love it. And Daleen and I, just on a side note, we know all about crazy hair. I thought this was so great. Well, I'm sure Lindy does too. So I thought this was awesome. I had not seen that pattern before.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and she sent me Boris. Now, mind you, we're expecting a robin or something. Look at this grumpy little puppy. Look at
It's so cute.
Look at that. And we found out Olga is a cat. A cat. But who cannot smile and look at that?
Right?
Like, oh, it's happening.
Mm-hmm. I love him.
So, but he arrived in a surprise.
Yes. Hello.
Look at this. Unbelievable. If you go inside, there's a ring with what are these? The
Thread drops.
Yeah, the drops for your floss. Look at the back. Poppies.
Which Anita loves. So I just have to point out the attention to detail that Daleen
Unbelievable.
clearly listens to the things that we love, that she would send Anita poppies. Yeah. I mean, seriously.
And the fabric, I don't know if it'll pick up. It's a very muted design that coordinates with the fabric on the outside. It's just so. Boris was in here with the card. I couldn't believe it.
And oh my gosh.
Could not believe it.
Well, I couldn't believe that I got one too. Daleen,
look at
this.
It
has poly all over it, which I love because that's
I know. Look at.
So isn't it pretty? I wish you could see the sparkle in the fabric, but it just doesn't. You know how it is. So here's the front. Mm-hmm. And I loved it. It was so precious because my husband saw the ring with the thread drops, and he was like, he actually asked me about it. He's like, so tell me about this. What's this about? And so I could explain to him, and I was like, isn't she a genius to construct it this way? Because I said, how often are your threads thrown around in the bottom of your bag? you know, and to be able to hang them right here and to keep your thread drops nice. I was like, oh, genius idea. Daylene, you're amazing. Thank you so much for this gift. And I love it. My scissor pull looks like sea glass.
Right.
And it says love, which I am all about.
And mine was a butterfly to go with the butterflies in the back.
So thoughtful.
Thank you. It was just such a great morning.
Right?
We were like almost jumping up and down. Like, whoa! Like, if there was anybody else sleeping in the house, they weren't after we were done. Because we were just like drinking coffee and like...
Wow. It was a little hen party because we had not seen each other since our
weeks
travel
anyway.
either. So yeah, we were having a gay old time. And seriously, this Tezo tea butterscotch blondie, does that not sound delicious? I can't wait to sip on that. So Daylene, thank you for this thought. Oh, and the pattern. She put a pattern in mine too. And I've not seen this flip it before from Lizzie Kate. Peace. So sweet. With the dove. I love it.
So, my goodness, that pile.
We don't expect these things.
No.
You know, we just don't at all. They're just such surprises for us.
Words. No words.
I know. Words.
Yeah. So, there was an incident at my house. Involving my husband and a needle.
Scary.
Yeah. It didn't go, he just found it, but it wasn't where it was supposed to be. It was on the ground. He kind of like slid over and I said, "What is on the floor?" And then he's like, whoa. Whoa.
Close one.
You need a magnet. I said, well, I have a magnet. We both have this magnet.
Yeah, this one. You know.
Everybody has this, right? No?
It cranks out. Yeah, retractable.
Easy to carry.
Easy to. Yeah. So, Michael, thought you needed something better.
Okay. It is like on the handle
it looks
of a
like
broom.
a hoe.
Like here, I'll just pull it like all the way across. Like, look at this. And so it's like, when the people have the metal detectors on the beach, he went over the rug near my stitching area. Like he's like searching for gold. So
Isn't that awesome?
Look at the size of this guy. Well, here's my pen. And it is like, I don't know, that's over a half an inch thick.
Right?
This is like...
heavy duty. It's heavy.
Yep. So I'm like, okay, this is going overboard. This is too much. Well, wouldn't you know, yesterday...
Oh no.
I was stitching and my hand knocked a needle minder that I had set up and the needles went. And my daughter was with me and I'm like, there were 3 needles. We need to find all 3 needles. And she's like, where's the magnet? I mean, we used it. Oh my goodness. But I just thought, if you guys...
And you found them.
Yeah,
it worked.
Yep.
It was probably pretty quick with that size. I mean, if they're all close to each other.
Yeah. So what I was working on, so Kim Pardon and I did a Monogamania for 19 days. I worked on the Barnyard Buttons by Karen Kluba.
Love it.
And I'm at the bottom part, there.
Right here, which would be the quote and the border.
So it's a John Muir quote, which is so exciting to me. This is why I like it, is because he's considered like the father of the national parks. And the national parks were created in 1916, and that's the year my grandmother was born. So at the 100-year anniversary of the national park system, we were celebrating my grandmother's 100th birthday. So that was pretty exciting. So anyway, so there's the pattern. And then I am doing it on a mystery linen 32 count from
Australia.
Australia. That's all I know.
And it's stunning.
So, oh, let me see if I can. Okay, so usually when I stitch on something, I'm like, oh, that's it? That's as big as it's going to be? Yeah, not this one. There it is. So, anyway, so I'm hoping to get this done, well, before I go back to school,
Yeah.
for sure. But I like it on the blue.
Oh, it's so pretty. The blue is just in person. I wish you could see it.
And the
It's
John Muir
stunning.
quote is, when one tugs at a single thing in nature, he finds it attached to the rest of the world. So I know.
Beautiful.
There it is.
Love it.
So that's what I'm working on.
Love it.
Oh, I'm also working on, but I can't share because then I'd show. Yeah. Okay, trust me. So I have an exchange, a Plum Street sampler exchange that I'm working on. And it's turning out super cute. And I'm going to have a hard time letting it go. And
As
then
it always is.
I'm also working on a small for my husband's birthday coming up in a month. And he doesn't watch our videos, but you know, as soon as I show something that I'm making for him, he'll be like, "Hey,
Oh, yeah.
let's check out your last video." I'll be like, "No," tackle him down, like, "No, anything but that," So I'm not going to share it until after his birthday. So those are two smalls. They're small. They're small. So I'm working on those two and this guy.
Yeah. I'm going to finish my BBD, my Blackbird Designs drum, and P-Roy, of course.
So cute.
Yeah, I know.
And there's another one now, Harrison. They're all cute. And then what's Penny?
Penny.
Is that the bird? That
Jenny.
Kathy just.
Jenny
Jenny.
Wren.
Yeah,
Jenny
Jenny Wren. Yeah. So now all of a sudden I'm starting to see them. And when we were at Country Samplers, they had this cool basket full of them.
Of the animal crackers. Yeah. I know. I got to start seeing.
Just talent.
And then I also, I think I shared this a while back.
One owl and a whole bunch of slugs.
Right? Hey, and my snow woman too, because she's so cute. I can't remember her name, but she's still cute. So I think I showed this a while back that I had The Magic of Christmas to Cross Stitch by Veronique Engranger. I love to say that. French is so fun, isn't it? I know. Took it in high school. Anita can speak better than I can. Because, yes, you can. Veronique Engranger.
Maybe 10 years ago. You use it or you lose it.
Truth be told.
That's the sadness in language.
Yes. And I have not used it.
But there is a stitch along going on.
There's a stitch along with Misty. Did Misty start it? The stitch along?
I don't know. Maybe.
I heard about it from her. So I decided I just wanted to start something really small. So I picked this really cute snowman. It's part of like a
I think it's.
What you call it? Sorry, everything's
I'll
falling
move
out.
my coffee. There you go.
Advent calendar. Sorry, that's why the 2 is on there. So I'm not going to put a 2 there. I'm going to put a snowflake. So let me hold this up again. Isn't he cute? I just wanted something really small to start out with because there's a million things in here that I would like to stitch. So here's my tiny little start. Sorry, let me pull my...
And this is all DMC.
It is. It's all
So.
DMC. So there's my tiny little border and part of his hat. So just a tiny little start, but it's not going to take long. It's a sweet little...
What's the Sally
Ditty.
Spencer quote? Sooner begun,
Sooner done. And surprisingly, that tiny little pattern has quite a bit of floss here. Like...
Yeah, quite a few colors.
It just goes on. One more. The snow is in this sweet little, kind of like a baby blue color. Anywho, yeah.
So you are booked up for the next week or two.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So anyway, after our holidays, I think there's a break in the holidays. Maybe we'll get together and get some stitching done.
Yeah.
So.
We do like to get together. Yeah.
So I think that,
Oh, I wanted to tell about my mug. I forgot.
My notes.
Okay,
yeah,
you look. I'm going to talk about my mug.
Yep.
Because I forgot to do that earlier. So you'll see my name on it. This is a gift from my friend Lori, who is just a precious friend of mine. We've been friends for a very long time. And she ordered this for me for Christmas this past year. I think I spoke of, it's been over 10 years ago. I took a class at my church called VP3, Vantage Point 3, and it was a leadership class that was all about listening for God's voice. And that was where I heard his voice tell me to go back to teaching. Mm-hmm. And that was all just such a miracle in my life. But anyway.
And a good thing.
Yes, because, it led to
Isn't that amazing? Amazing.
Yeah, way. It's a miracle. So, Lori and I took that class together, and the funny thing is that the year that I got my job, she left the school that she was at in the little town that she was in and came, and we were hired at the same school. So that was pretty special too. And we had taken this class together, listening for God's voice. So part of that class was taking a Gallup survey called Strength Finders. If you ever find yourself with an opportunity to take Strength Finders, do it. There's a book that Gallup has out. I think it's called Strength Finders like 2.0 or I don't know, something like that. And there's a code in the back and you get online. It's an extensive survey, but I really believe that it's right on target if you're answering with your whole heart. But the goal is to find out what your top 5 strengths are. There are hundreds of strengths, but these are your top 5. So she got me this mug that has my name on one side and my top 5 strengths on the other. Mm-hmm. So empathy is my number 1, adaptability, developer, positivity, and responsibility. So
I want a mug.
I want this mug. So it's neat. I love using it because it's a reminder to me of what my strengths are. Because I think so often we focus on all the yuck in our lives or how we fail. We're so critical of ourselves.
It's so critical.
So critical. That it's good to remember what we're gifted
I know
at.
as educators too, there's not a single day that you go home and say, oh, I should have done this. I missed this. It's that the reflective piece, but it leads into that perfectionist thing too. That and
then you feel like you failed, and I get hung up in that too often. So this helps remind me of what my gifts are.
And then I didn't bring a mug because my box is full when I came, so she let me use her USA mug.
Yeah,
look at that.
Isn't it fun?
So
love my Ray Dunn mugs. They're my favorite mugs. They are.
So I think that is it for now.
I think so.
So as soon as you get back, we will tape again.
Oh, and then I'll have adventures to share.
There are a couple things that I forgot to bring. So they will definitely be front and center on our next video.
Yes.
So until
next time.
See you again, remember to
shine, sparkle, and stitch. Bye, everybody.
Bye.